second man convicted in killing of Chicago honor student defendant Michelle Ward listens during the trial for the fatal shooting of Hadiya Pendleton at the Layton Criminal Court building in Chicago on Tuesday, August 21, 2018. Prosecutors played a videotape for jurors Tuesday, of an interrogation of a man who ultimately confessed to pulling the trigger in the fatal 2013 shooting of a 15-year-old Chicago honor student Hadiya Pendleton. On the video, Ward can be heard telling police how he fired into a park, aiming for who he believed were rival gang members. Ward is charged with first-degree murder, as is the alleged getaway driver, Kenneth Williams. Jose M. Osorio, Chicago Tribune via AP, Pool, Chicago, AP. A jury has found a second suspect guilty Thursday of first-degree murder in the killing of a 15-year-old high school honor student whose death in 2013 became a symbol of Chicago's random gun violence. The jury concluded Michelle Ward, who was 18 at the time, was guilty of firing the fatal shot that struck Hadiya Pendleton in the back. On Wednesday, a separate jury found the man accused of driving the getaway car, Kenneth Williams, guilty of first-degree murder as well. As with the first jury, this one took little time to decide that Ward is guilty. During the trial, jurors watched a video in which Ward confessed to killing the teenager a little more than a week after she returned from Washington, where she performed as a majorette with her high school band at President Barack Obama's inauguration festivities. "There is justice for Hadiya," said her mother Cleopatra Calley through tears after the verdict was delivered. "She did not deserve what happened to her." Ward said he did not want to open fire at the park on the city's south side where Pendleton and friends were gathered after completing their final exams. But he said Williams told him if he did not do it, Williams would kill him. Ward said he got out of the car he and Williams were in and walked over to a fence and opened fire on the group of young people whom he believed were members of a rival gang. The case against the two men was further bolstered by grand jury testimony of two friends of Williams, who said that shortly after the shooting, Williams and Ward told them he and Ward had taken part in a shooting. During the trial, the two men backed off their grand jury testimony, saying they did not remember being told about the shooting, but prosecutors read aloud their grand jury testimony to jurors. During closing arguments on Thursday, prosecutors pointed to statements Ward made both to fellow gang members and to detectives, pointing, for example, to Ward's false statement that the teen was shot because a rival gang member had used her as a shield. "You saw as he tried to justify killing a 15-year-old innocent girl," said Assistant State's Attorney James Papa, who told jurors there were no other gang members in the park at the time of the shooting. Defense attorneys countered with the argument that the detectives focused solely on Ward and Williams because they were under intense pressure to solve a case that became a major national news story. "They blocked out everything else," said one of Ward's attorneys, Gina Piedmont, who said the fact that Ward in his confession got numerous facts wrong suggests detectives coerced him into admitting his guilt. But the kick verdict suggests that the jury had little trouble discounting the contention by Ward's attorneys. The death of Pendleton came to symbolize random gun violence in Chicago because of the girl's own history and because of her connection to the President of the United States and the First Lady. The park where the teen was killed was about a mile from the Obama's Chicago home, though the teen was just one of more than 3,000 homicide victims in the city since 2013, and was killed before the number of homicides in Chicago increased dramatically. Her killing stood out because of the reaction from the White House. Obama spoke of the girl's death during his 2013 State of the Union address. The killing prompted Michelle Obama to return to Chicago, first to attend the teen's funeral and then later to tell an audience gathered not far from where she herself grew up, "Hadiya Pendleton was me, and I was her, _______." This version of the story corrects the spelling of Hadiya in the fourth paragraph. Copyright 2018 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, written or redistributed.